very much for your introduction. So, could you show my slide? So, today I would like to talk about Gender Equality 2.0 we proposed at Gender Summit 10 in Tokyo last year. So before explaining Gender Equality 2.0, I would like to show you the summary of Gender Summit 10. It was held in Tokyo at the end of May last year. We had three characteristics. First is definition of gender equality. So this is connected to Gender Equality 2.0. And the second is focusing on Asia perspective. I would like to show you the detail of Asia perspective later. And the third is the co-organization of many organizations. It was very important to share with many people of our new concept. Sorry. So this is Gender Equality 2.0 proposal team members, 21 members from 8 countries and areas, and the male ratio was 43%. It was not so bad. And this is a Tokyo recommendation we had as a result of a Gender Summit 10 discussions. The name is Bridge. The bridge means a better research and innovation through diversity and gender equality. We have 3 items. First item is says gender equality is an essential determinant of societal sustainability and well-being. And scientific understanding of gender and related differences should be respected as important factors. So this concept can bridge gender and science, technology, and innovation. The second item says the gender equality can provide a bridge through which target of all of 70 SDGs can be connected. So this concept can bridge all of SDGs. And the third is very important. So gender equality in the context of SDGs target must recognize the influence of human and societal diversities and science and society defined and bridge the role of attitude to women, girls, men, boys, ethnicity, race, culture, etc. Gender Equality 2.0 should be adopted by all stakeholders. So we defined Gender Equality 2.0 just over here. So let me show you the contents of Gender Equality 2.0. Gender equality, focusing on women and girls, that are core and very important. We called it Gender Equality 1.0 because 1 is the most basic number. But we'd like to expand this concept with diversity, including ethnicity, men's and boys' problem, culture, age, geography, and so on. So these factors are desired to be embodied in gender equality. This is a concept of Gender Equality 2.0. We called it Gender Equality 2.0. The key word is just diversity. So in order to clarify the relation among these factors, I'd like to show you each relation with gender equality. So first is ability. I'd like to show you Dr. Chieko Asakawa. She's an IBM Fellow in the United States. She is just a Japanese woman. She's completely blind because she had an accident at the swimming pool when she was an elementary school student. And she has a lot of disability, but she changed her disability to her ability. She always says blind people have 2 kinds of obstacles. First is she cannot get any information from the website. But she developed IBM homepage reader, so she can get any information from the website by speech technologies. So she clarified the first obstacle. And the second obstacle is she would like to walk alone, but she cannot walk alone. So she's now developing a new technology and systems. She's always wearing the camera over here, and this camera system cannot recognize the view around her. So when somebody is coming near to her, this camera system notifies who is that person. So for example, Mike is coming, so she can say, the camera system tells her Mike is coming, and she can say, good morning, Mike, so as like she can see him. So she's now developing this system and has not yet completed, but she says in the future she will complete this system. So this is because she is blind. But this system, I want this system because sometimes I cannot remember the name of the person I meet. So if I have that system, that is very effective. So her innovation is not only for blind people, but also for everybody. So this is a very good innovation. So next, I'd like to show you the men's and the boys' problem. This is very serious, I think. So first, I will show you the boys' problems. So first of all, look at the right figures. That shows the female to male ratio of tertiary education. Look at the orange line, 100. 100 means equal opportunity between boys and girls at tertiary education. The higher than 100 means that more girls take a tertiary education than boys. And lower than 100 means that more boys take tertiary education than girls. And in any region, the ratio is increasing. And world average is more than 100. That means more girls take tertiary education than boys now in the world. Look at these figures. This shows the ratio of men and women over 24 to 35 years old who took tertiary education. Japan is only one country more men to take tertiary education, but the other countries, more women take tertiary education than men. So we will have a serious problem in less educated men in the future. So you may think the younger generation is different, but the men's problem is also very serious for senior single men. This is a result of a survey result in Japan in 2016. So they asked the conversation frequency for single men and women. Only once 2 weeks, that ratio is 15% for men, and that is just 5% for women. And more than 50% of single senior men don't have any communication with the other people every day. They are very lonely. And look at the lower pictures. These are the result of the answers to the question, do you have dependable persons in your daily life? So more than 30% of single senior men said no. And that ratio is just 9% for women. So single senior men are so lonely. This will be a serious problem in the society because in Japan, the senior people is getting bigger. The population is getting bigger. So this is a serious problem. So next, I would like to show you the age problem. So this is also the survey result of Japanese gender gap and generation gap on working life. The horizontal axis shows the gender gap, and the right point shows a big gender gap. We can find 3 big gender gaps. One is about female boss, the other is younger boss, and the third is female managers. So we can see men don't like female and young bosses. And vertical axis shows a generation gap. The higher point shows a big generation gap. There are 3 big gaps. One is about clothes, and one is about finding a new job on internet. And the biggest one is about female bosses. So senior men don't want to accept female bosses. So next I will show you the result of same survey I just show you just now. This shows the age dependence of ratio of no problem by female bosses. Younger people can accept female bosses, but when the senior people don't accept female bosses. And the orange line shows a women's answer, and the green line shows men's answers. And if we see the senior people's answers, the women's all of the data increased, so the situation around the female bosses are getting better. But and look at the senior answers. The women's increase was by 42%. That is big, but male answers increase is just 33%. So we can say the most conservative people are senior men. That is a very big problem. So next, I will show you the culture problem with gender equality. I would like to show you the Japanese female civil engineer in charge of metal construction site in India. She's Dr. Reiko Abe. She got a PhD in Japanese university, and she's now a director of civil engineering metal construction site in India. And she's called Madam Metro. She's a director of 400 men. All of the 400 men are Indian men. Look at this. She's just over here. And she's a director, and all of the workers are Indian men. And before she became a director, most of the workers worked with bare feet, without no jacket and no helmet. But she changed safety system completely. So now all of the workers wearing the helmet, safety jacket, and safety shoes. So before she became a director, a lot of accidents they had, but the ratio of accident decreased dramatically. So before she became a director, many men worked as a director, but no man could change the culture of safety in India, but she changed the safety culture in India. So next, I would like to show you the religion with gender equality. So this is about Confucianism. That was the basis of our life in East Asia. And Confucianism gives a patriarchal system. That is the family leaders, fathers and husband. And many people thought this Confucianism promoted gender inequality. And in the late of 19th century, this Confucianism was a target of attack by Western industrialization, and a lot of Asian perspective and custom disappeared. But the patriarchal system is a formal one. Actually, the Asian families are different. Actually, the managers of Japanese family are wives. The salaries are brought by husband, but the salaries are managed by women, by wives. That is the actual situation. So we have to think both formal case and informal, the actual situation. So we need to think it over about Asian perspective. So next, I would like to show you the sexuality. So President Yamagiwa, he is now a president of Science Council of Japan, that is a Japanese Science Academy, gave a talk at the Gender Summit 10. He is a researcher of gorilla, and he talked about the origin and biological base of a human society. He talked about origin and the history of human families. And he said characteristics of a human family is not based on biological relation, but based on cognitive relation through caretaking after birth of the baby. So his conclusion is we can change our family style as we wish. That is consistent with human history. So next, I would like to show you the LGBT situation in Japan. This shows the LGBT ratio in Japan. That is 5.9%, but if we include sexuality others, that is 8%. Maybe this is almost the same ratio in the world. So 8% is not negligible, that is big enough. But look at the right figures. That shows the announcement of LGBT to friend and family of students in Japan. Only 22% of the students are open to the family and friend to be LGBT. More than 50% of the LGBT students must keep secret they are LGBT, so they have difficulties in their life. So we have to change the situation for LGBTs now. So next, I would like to show you the diversity. So this is a very impressive data. This shows the economic value of the patent in engineering in Japan. So Japanese government bank compared the economic value of the patent written only by male teams and mixed gender teams. The value of the mixed gender team and the value of the male team, the ratio was 1.44 in 2016. And they got the new data. It was 1.54 in this year. So if we'd like to get a higher economic value, we should promote more mixed gender teams. So next, I would like to show you the ethnicity. So I will talk about the computer science and following the AI. So this problem was said by Elizabeth 2 years ago. So look at this picture. This is a female ratio of a computer science department in tertiary education in the United States. It was 30% around 2000, but it decreased, and saturating around 20%. So the female ratio of computer science department is not high. And look at the light figures. That shows the relation between the female ratio in the tertiary education and salary after they graduated the tertiary education in the United States. We can see the tendency. If the salary is higher, the female ratio is lower. So this is a very serious problem because AI will be more popular in our society, and most of computer science and AI are done by men. So next, I will show you about the time for game on computer after school. So I'd like to say more boys play computer games than girls. So anyway, boys like computer than girls. That is connected to the female ratio smaller in computer science department, I think. So next, I will show you the race. This race means the competitions. So this shows the female ratio of winners of Science Olympiad. Science Olympiad is a competition of high school students. In biology and earth science, the female ratio is not so small, but the other field, the female ratio is almost 0. So the total female ratio is less than 10%. That is very small. And Science Olympiad is a kind of a competition. But if we see the science research presentation conference, the participation and awardees means excellent presentations are awarded by the ministry. And that female ratio is very high. So we can say boys like competition, but girls don't like competition, and they would like to have just sharing the presentation about research. So we should think what we should do to promote gender equality. So AI should be for everybody. So finally, I would like to show the geography. So this shows the World Economic Forum's GGI, maybe you know. And the ranking, if we see the ranking, Europe and American regions are located at higher ranking, and Asia, Africa, and Middle East are located at the lower. But and Japan is just over here. And you may know this ranking is based on the average of a scoring of 4 types: economy, politics, education, and health. But if we see the score in education and health, almost all of the country have the same score. No deviation. And deviations are only for economy and politics. So GGI compared just gender equality in economy and politics. But I think gender equality in education and health, that is very important. So, so I would like to show you what is Asian perspective, because I would like to show you the Asian perspective will be more important. So many of the regions in the world, people believe one God, but we are different. The nature around us are always changing, and we feel that is truth in our life. So Asian people have real diversity. So gender equality was initiated from United States and Europe, but we would like to promote gender equality from each region. So in order to realize it, so gender equality 2.0 must be very important to realize a sustainable society and people's happiness and well-being. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Maybe.
I noted, similarly to many countries, that the challenges that you're facing are often underpinned by gender stereotypes, which we all know kind of start at a very early age. So I'm just wondering if you have any initiatives in Japan that are tackling that upstream opportunity to perhaps, mainstream gender equality through the education system, whether teacher training or classroom practices, things that start at an earlier age.
Okay.
Yeah, of course we are changing, and as I showed, the high school students, high school girls have a very good science research, and so the younger generation, more female ratio is higher, but maybe we have an obstacle to be a researcher, so we have to change, we have to break the obstacle. That is our issue.
Thank you very much, Dr. Watanabe. If you'd
Thank
like
you.
some water, are you okay for water?
I'm
Okay, fine.
So I will here over there.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce our next speakers.